I always had like a vision for a Baltimore-based video game, sort of like Grand Theft Auto meets like Cyberpunk 2077. Even though Cyberpunk ain't really work out well at all, Grand Theft Auto type game would be so great. It would be so good. And I know, you know, a lot of people will probably be like, well, people outside of Baltimore probably wouldn't want to play that game, but that's just not true at all. When you can see the impact of, maybe not, I won't say the global impact, but if you can see like the United States countrywide impact of The Wire, people still talk about The Wire in such high regard, and The Wire hasn't been on television for at least 15 years. So when you see that type of impact, there are people that will play the game just to go down the block Omar used to go down, or go to where Avon and Stringer used to, you know, have their business. And people would play that just for those references. So, and not that alone, but everybody from Baltimore would play it because they would have intrigue in it. They would have some type of intrinsic value emotionally with the game, you know, because we're from here, and you know those streets, you know those blocks, you know, and to actually just be able to build a character and play and do those things within a game setting would just be so big, man. It would be so big. It would be so big. Everybody would love it, and everybody would be into it. I think that's what also separates like Grand Theft Auto from like a real life area, because San Andreas obviously was built in California, and the other one they had before that, I don't really remember, Miami. It was Miami based, right? So that's great, but in a lot of cases I don't think that they were actually like, well, maybe they might be actual areas, but because I never really played Grand Theft after a certain point. I just stopped playing. It just lost interest. But these kids, man, they love that shit. Kids will play these games ad nauseum, and being a game developer, I can see why they took so long to make a new Grand Theft Auto, because if you're still playing the old one, I think Grand Theft Auto 5, if you're still playing the old one and still pumping money into it, buying things for characters and putting money towards it, why would I make a new game? Unless you, even though Capcom does not do a good job with that, with the Street Fighter series, but so many people still play Grand Theft Auto 5 to this day. I have nephews that just, and Grand Theft Auto 5 has probably been out for about 6 years, so it's just a game that they've grown up with as well, and nothing's really changed about it. But I think having such a localized game would really incentivize A, the locals to play it, and B, there's a history here, there's an intrigue here, there's a mysticism also here for outsiders. It's not DC, it's not New York, it's not necessarily down south either. So, and like I said, just the intrigue of The Wire alone, just if you could, if I was from out of town and I could go play the video game and go down to the harbor or something like that, man. And if it was really a live game, if it really had live events like 4th of July, you can go down the harbor and see fireworks, and Easter and stuff like that, man. You could really go get a chicken box, and things were really like tied into the game, and it was really Baltimore centric, and Baltimore and the surrounding areas, with missions, and man, so many people would get involved and really embrace it. And I'm not a video game developer. I'm not a coder, so I can't make that happen. But and it will cost millions and millions of dollars just in research alone. It will cost millions of bucks. But so I mean, that's free game for whoever out there is a video game developer or looking for an idea. Even if you do it for another city, you know, I don't really see why it hasn't been explored. That idea hasn't been explored by other video game developers. Grand Theft Auto really isn't a unique type category of game, and I don't know why other developers haven't expanded. 50 Cent did it with the first video game he had. Was it with Battle for New York or something like that? I don't remember what it was called, because the second one was called, they were in like Iraq in the second one. It was like something, Blood in the Sand was the second one, but the first one was a New York type game. But I just feel like a Baltimore based game, which is, I think people from Baltimore love Baltimore so much, you know, and they would really get behind it and really push it, and it would really be something big for the city. I think Under Armour would get behind it. I think Natty Bo might get behind it. A couple other, you know, big corporations might get behind it, even though what the game is based upon, maybe they wouldn't be super public with it, but I think it would give them a lot of shine and a lot of business, honestly. I think it would be just a super dope idea, you know, just to show the culture and just to show the landscape, and it would be super dope, man. So that's free game for any developers out there that's thinking of video games, even if you use another city, you know, just do it. It'd be super dope. I think you get a big following behind it. Yeah.